If you've been feeling like life is teasing you, giving you hope, and then snatching it away, listen closely. Because for 5 zodiac signs, the next decade isn't just better. It's the kind of era people remember as their golden years, the years when doors open, when the right people appeared, when money stopped being a stress and started being a tool, and when love finally felt safe. I'm talking about Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, and Pisces. These signs will feel especially lucky, as if the universe has quietly been preparing a private runway just for them, and the lights are finally turning on. But here's the twist: their happiness won't look the same, and it won't always arrive wrapped in glitter. For some, happiness will be stability after chaos. For others, recognition after years of being underestimated. For someone, love that doesn't need to be chased, and for another, wealth that comes from a decision they were afraid to make. Why these 5? Because the next 10 years will reward very specific strengths: the ability to build patiently, Taurus; to harmonize and choose wisely, Libra; to master systems and skills, Virgo; to transform pain into power, Scorpio; and to trust intuition without losing reality, Pisces. The universe is basically changing the rules. It's no longer about who runs the fastest. It's about who can commit, who can grow up emotionally, who can stop settling, and who can take the hint when destiny whispers. These 5 signs have been training for this era for years, through heartbreaks, delays, wrong jobs, complicated people, and moments when they wanted to give up. Now comes compensation. Not small, not symbolic, real. And yes, this horoscope is split into 2 parts. In part 1, you'll get Taurus, Libra, and Virgo, 3 signs whose happiness will come like a rising tide, steady, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. In part 2, I'll reveal Scorpio and Pisces, the 2 signs whose happiest decade will feel like a plot twist written by fate itself. Stay with me, because for each sign I'll name the 3 luckiest years between 2026 and 2036, and exactly what those years can bring in money, love, and career. Taurus, your happiest decade is built, not wished for. Taurus, the next 10 years will feel like finally living in a house you've been building brick by brick in your mind. You're done surviving. You're done proving your worth to people who only value noise. Your happiness comes through ownership of your time, your work, your body, your home, and your choices. This decade rewards you for being the sign that can commit to a plan when everyone else changes direction every week. The more you simplify your life, the richer it becomes. Your happiest decade also comes because you'll stop negotiating with what drains you. Taurus often stays too long, in jobs that are fine, relationships that are almost, routines that are safe but not alive. From 2026 onward, you begin choosing what's real, and that decision pulls blessings like a magnet. Financially, this is your era of building stable income streams, property, long-term projects, skills that pay, and partnerships that are actually equal. In love, you stop chasing emotional unpredictability and start receiving steadiness, someone who doesn't confuse you, someone who protects peace, someone who wants a future, not a drama series. Your 3 most successful years: 2027, 2030, 2034, 2027, a new foundation year. This is when you can lock in a major upgrade, job, business direction, relocation, or a serious financial plan that finally works. Money luck comes from consistency. What you repeat becomes what rewards you. In relationships, 2027 often brings a person who is calm but serious, or it deepens an existing bond with clear commitments. 2030, the year you realize you're not just stable, you're desired. Career recognition spikes. You may become the go-to expert, the reliable leader, the one people pay more for because you deliver. Financially, a large purchase or investment becomes possible. In love, passion returns, but it's mature passion, no games, just loyalty and chemistry. 2034, your harvest year. Something you started years earlier blooms: a business, a property move, a long-term career climb, or a creative project that turns profitable. Relationship-wise, this year often brings official status, marriage, living together, a shared home, or a decision that makes you feel secure in a way you've craved for a long time. What happiness looks like for Taurus: peace that isn't boring, peace that's rich, warm, and safe. Money that doesn't disappear. Love that doesn't punish you. A life that finally feels like yours. Libra, your happiest decade begins when you stop betraying yourself to keep harmony. Libra, you're about to learn a gorgeous truth: real love, real money, and real success never require you to shrink. Over the next 10 years, your luck grows the moment you stop being the easy one who keeps everyone comfortable. This is your decade of powerful choices, the ones you avoided because you were scared of disappointing someone. And the second you start choosing yourself, the universe starts choosing you too. Your happiness comes through upgraded relationships, but not just romantic. Libra's biggest blessings arrive through people, partnerships, contracts, collaborations, networks. The next decade brings you better quality humans, people who don't just admire you, but invest in you. Career-wise, you're stepping into spaces where your taste, diplomacy, beauty sense, and intelligence become high-value currency. Libra wins when they're seen, and this decade makes you visible. Financially, you can move from enough to abundance, especially when you stop undercharging and stop doing emotional labor for free. In love, Libra, the next decade is about getting what you actually wanted. A partner who is proud of you, who builds with you, who doesn't make you guess. If you've been in complicated situations, you will either transform them into something real or leave and meet someone who doesn't come with confusion attached. Your romantic happiness is tied to one decision. Stop choosing potential, choose consistency. Your 3 most successful years, 2026, 2029, 2033. 2026, your door-opening year. Fresh starts arrive fast. New job offers, new city energy, new social circles. This year is lucky for love and career because your charm is amplified, but the key is discernment. Choose the opportunity that feels peaceful, not just exciting. Financially, a new income source appears or a skill becomes monetized. 2029, a status upgrade year. Libra, this is when you can formalize success, promotion, official title, a serious contract, or a business that becomes respected. In relationships, 2029 is powerful for engagement, marriage, moving in, or meeting someone who is ready and emotionally stable. 2033, your masterpiece year. This is when your long-term vision becomes real. A dream project launches, your reputation expands, or you step into a leadership role where your voice matters. Financially, this can be one of your strongest years for major purchases, luxury, or a lifestyle glow-up that isn't reckless, it's earned. In love, 2033 brings harmony that feels mature, shared goals, shared values, shared future. What happiness looks like for Libra: being loved without performing, being paid what you're worth, being surrounded by people who don't drain you, and waking up without that quiet anxiety of, am I too much? Virgo, your happiest decade begins when you realize your discipline is a superpower. Virgo, you don't need luck, you create it. And that's exactly why the next 10 years become your happiest. This decade rewards precision, persistence, emotional maturity, and skill. While other signs are still manifesting, you'll be quietly building systems that turn into success. But here's what changes now. You stop only being the one who fixes everyone else's chaos, and you finally build a life that supports you. Virgo happiness looks like mastery, getting so good at something that money becomes the side effect. Career-wise, this decade is incredible for specialization, health, analytics, writing, education, management, tech, design, research, or any field where detail matters. You'll have moments where you look around and realize, wait, I'm not struggling anymore. Financially, the next decade can bring steady expansion, especially when you stop playing small and stop thinking you have to be perfect before you start. In relationships, Virgo's happiness comes when you stop settling for emotional unpredictability. You're not too picky, you're wise. This decade brings love that feels practical and deep, someone who respects your routines, your work, your sensitivity, and your need for honesty. For many Virgos, the happiest years include building a home, creating a family, or creating a life partnership that feels like teamwork, not emotional gymnastics. And if you're single now, your person comes when you're not trying to rescue anyone. Your 3 most successful years, 2028, 2031, 2035. 2028, your breakthrough skill year. Virgo, this is when a new qualification, a new role, or a new project changes your financial trajectory. Your work gets noticed. You might finally leave the job that undervalues you. In love, 2028 brings clarity. You see who's real and who just enjoys your support. 2031, a big money, big respect year. This can be one of your most financially successful years in the decade. Raises, profitable offers, expansion of business, or a strong investment decision. Relationship-wise, 2031 supports serious commitments, shared goals, and building something tangible together. 2035, your peace and legacy year. Virgo, this is when life starts to feel clean and aligned, less stress, more control, more joy. Career becomes stable at a higher level. Financially, you can secure long-term safety. In love, this is a year of emotional security, feeling chosen, safe, and appreciated. What happiness looks like for Virgo: waking up with purpose, having money without chaos, love without confusion, a life where your nervous system finally relaxes. Scorpio, your happiest decade begins the moment you stop living in survival mode. Scorpio, you're not here for small happiness. You're here for a life that feels intense, meaningful, and true. But for many years, your intensity has been used to endure, to hold on, to stay strong, to carry what other people couldn't. The next 10 years are different. This is your decade of release and rise. The universe doesn't just open doors for you, it returns power to you. And once Scorpio gets their power back, everything changes. Your happiness comes through three big themes: rebirth, influence, and emotional freedom. From 2026 to 2036, you stop repeating the same cycles. You stop attracting half love, half truth, half effort. You develop a new relationship with boundaries, and that alone becomes your lucky charm. Career-wise, this decade is powerful for leadership, entrepreneurship, psychology, healing professions, finance, strategy, investigation, tech, and anything where you see what others miss. Scorpio is the sign that can read the room before anyone speaks, and in this decade, that talent pays. Financially, Scorpio's happiest years often arrive after one brave decision: quitting what's draining you, changing direction, or finally investing in your own potential. Money comes through high-value moves, not constant hustle. In love, you don't just want romance, you want loyalty, depth, and truth. And yes, this decade can bring you that once-in-a-lifetime connection. But it will only stay if you refuse to play emotional chess with someone who can't meet you in honesty. Your three most successful years: 2026, 2030, 2032. 2026, you're closing the old chapter year. This is when the universe clears space, sometimes abruptly. You might end a draining relationship, leave a toxic workplace, or finally stop carrying a burden that was never yours. It can feel intense, but it's lucky because it frees you. Financially, 2026 is a year of smart strategy: clearing debts, restructuring income, making one decision that gives you long-term control. In love, this year brings truth: either someone proves they're real, or you walk away and win your life back. 2030, a power and status year. Scorpio, this is when you can rise fast: promotion, business expansion, public recognition, leadership roles, or becoming the person people trust with serious responsibilities. Money grows because your influence grows. In relationships, 2030 supports stable commitment, but only if the partner respects your boundaries and your ambition. 2032, your destiny alignment year. This is the year where your personal life and your career start matching your soul. Many Scorpios find their true calling here or monetize a talent they kept hidden. Financially, 2032 can bring major growth through investments, partnerships, or a high-level project. In love, this year is deep: healing old wounds, meeting someone who understands you without trying to control you, or transforming an existing relationship into something real and sacred. What happiness looks like for Scorpio: peace without weakness, love without manipulation, money without fear, and the quiet confidence of someone who knows they can survive anything but finally doesn't have to. Pisces, your happiest decade begins when you stop doubting your intuition. Pisces, your next decade is the kind people write movies about: the dreamer finally winning in the real world. You've always felt life deeper than most. You catch signs, moods, energies, and unspoken truths. But sometimes you've used that sensitivity to escape, or to love people who didn't deserve the level of devotion you gave. From 2026 to 2036, Pisces happiness arrives when you learn the most magical lesson of all: your compassion is a gift, but your boundaries are your protection. This decade brings you luck through creative expansion, spiritual clarity, and soul-level love, but it also brings something Pisces secretly craves: stability. Your happiness won't be chaotic inspiration anymore. It becomes consistent blessings. Career-wise, This is a golden era for art, music, writing, filmmaking, counseling, healing, astrology, psychology, wellness, design, humanitarian work, and any path where your empathy becomes your power. You stop hiding your talent. You stop thinking someone else is better. The universe is basically saying, it's your turn. Financially, Pisces can have an incredible decade, especially once you stop underpricing yourself and stop rescuing people with your resources. Money comes when you take your gift seriously, when you turn intuition into a system, creativity into a product, kindness into a business that still has boundaries. In love, Pisces is one of the signs most likely to experience a true soulmate level bond in this period. But the key is, you must choose love that feels calm, not love that feels like drowning. Your 3 most successful years, 2027, 2031, 2036. 2027, your new dream becomes real year. Pisces. This is when inspiration turns into action. A new creative path opens, you meet influential people, or you finally start something you've been postponing for years. Financially, 2027 can bring a new income stream, especially through online work, personal brand, creative products, or helping professions. In love, this year often brings a romantic beginning that feels gentle and fated. 2031, a recognition and rewards year. This is one of your strongest years for career growth. Your work gets seen, shared, recommended. You may receive offers that feel too good to be true until you realize you earned them. Financially, 2031 can be a big upgrade year. Higher pay, profitable collaborations, or stable success after a long uncertain phase. In relationships, 2031 supports serious commitment, moving in engagement, marriage, or building a shared life that feels safe. 2036, your crown year. Pisces, this year is special because it feels like a spiritual graduation. Something clicks. You no longer chase what doesn't choose you. You no longer doubt your gifts. You stop apologizing for being sensitive and you turn that sensitivity into wisdom. Financially, 2036 can bring a major achievement, a milestone purchase, business peak, or a legacy project. In love, it's the year of deep emotional security, being understood, being protected, being cherished. What happiness looks like for Pisces: love that feels like home, money that doesn't come with guilt, a career that honors your soul, and a life where your intuition isn't a fantasy, it's your compass. Final message for Taurus, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, Pisces 20 to 62036. The next 10 years won't be perfect, no decade is. But for you 5, it will be bright, meaningful, and rewarding in a way that changes your identity. The universe isn't giving you luck as a random gift. It's giving you luck as a response to everything you've survived, learned, and refused to become bitter from.